and pre-pandemic. We discussed it. Specifically, in the concluding, I will be showing you a few interventions by UNESCO that they think what should be done. If you look at Pakistani scenario, there is a report of World Bank that out of 205 universities, if I'm correct, only 45 has enough facilities to do lecturing online. And again, worries about the students, those who live on the mountains and the interior Sindh and Punjab also face problems. I will not talk much more, let's keep it at the end. I will hand over this to Professor Dr. Ziaul Qayyum, another great man, remained Vice Chancellor in Gujarat. I still remember I talked to him usually once Dr. Mukhtar recommended him to be a Vice Chancellor in a private university. We were looking for a Vice Chancellor, and he said, "This young man is the good one, please hire him by any means." And that was a decade ago, I think. So here he is now in Islamabad, Vice Chancellor Sahab, and he is the most relevant in a way that Ramayana Open University in the world is #2 open university. I think UK was the first and this is the second. And then there is in Bangladesh and some other. But he is having a huge number of students right from matric to PhD. So the most relevant person specifically in this period of time. However, we will be doing it. I will hand over the moderation to him and then he will invite the speakers turn by turn. Please check if the Khalsa with me is online. So over to Ziaul Qayyum Sahab, I've tried to focus camera on your ex-boss, Chairman HEC, so you can exchange greetings plus then you can continue with your job that you have to do it for the next almost 2 hours, please. So over to Professor Dr. Ziaul Qayyum Sahab.
Thank you very much, Professor Shinghai Sahab. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Good afternoon, everybody. Shinghai Sahab, if I may very quickly ask from good sir, I have the list of panelists which include Professor Dr. Iftihar Ahmed, Professor Dr. Ghulam Raza Bhatti Sahab, Professor Dr. Hassan Sheikh, Professor Dr. Khalid Iraqi, and the documents which I actually have at the moment. There is a session which does not actually include any expert or resource person to talk about, which is about ethics, equity, handholding of marginalized students. And then we have Professor Dr. Rubina Halim Sahab. And in the end, we'll have questions and discussion session. Am I right? Whatever I have said, it is in the same sequence given now.
Yes, sir. You are quite right, sir. You are quite right. This is the sequence. Raza Bhatti Sahab is already sitting here. So Iftihar and Khalid Iraqi and Hassan Sheikh, they will be online. So the staff here will coordinate with them. The Q&A, the time control is in your hand. So whatever way you like, but my recommendation would be that you ask the speakers to present their views, and at the end you can coordinate. We can, here we will receive question and send it to you. And you can choose few questions if you want. And even we will be requesting the former chairman HEC to say a few words by the end of your session, plus having those souvenirs for the guests that are sitting here. You will be watching from here. Your souvenir will be transported to you as and when, if former chairman allows that. So sir, you are 100% correct. First of all is Iftihar, and my staff will try to connect him to, but you can introduce him in whatever way you want.
Okay.
Over to you, sir.
Mr. Shimai, thank you very much for, as always, a very comprehensive explanation and elaboration of the situations and scenarios. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am really grateful to all of the respectable participants and audience who are connected online to have a discussion about a very important session in an important session, which actually would be, highlighting the issues faced to higher education sectors around the world, and especially in Pakistan as such. And I'm really delighted to have a very distinguished panel of experts. As I was talking to Professor Shimari earlier, we have Professor Dr. Iftihar Ahmed, Professor Dr. Ghulam Raza Bhatti Sahab, Professor Dr. Hassan Sheikh, Professor Khalid Iraqi Sahab, and Professor Dr. Rubina Amin Saiban, who will be talking, giving their expert views about different dimensions of higher education, and especially the challenges faced during the COVID-19 scenario. And keeping in view the SDGs, corresponding SDGs, relating these challenges and the countermeasures to be taken to improve the SDGs progress in the country as well. And before I really request my first colleague to talk about this topic, I take this opportunity to really thank my honorable seniors, my mentor, Professor Dr. Mukhtar Ahmed. Sir, thank you very much for being here, and delighted to see you, honestly. And a person who has led the higher education sector and has done wonders during his career, and even now he is guiding the colleagues and juniors like my own self. Professor Dr. Iqrar Ahmed Khan, sir, thank you very much for joining. Thank you, sir. It's really encouraging having you both in this session. And as Professor Shivai said, my university primarily is a university which focuses on imparting education in an online mode. And when I specifically mentioned that it is a university which is now imparting education in a kind of conventional distance education mode, and in online mode as well. Because during the last 2.5 years, we have transformed this university from a conventional distance university to a university which uses technology as a steering force behind all academic, administrative, and financial activities. Since last semester, even during the COVID, we tested it in a pilot phase as well. So it's all technology enhanced learning environment at Alumni College University. But it's really good to actually have different perspectives from different experts, from around the world as well, so that we could learn from each other's experiences. We could learn and we could know what the challenges of students in a particular area, keeping in view the diverse horizontal spread across the country when it comes to enrollment of students in higher education sector of Pakistan and even around the world. So if I now request Professor Dr. Iftihar Ahmed Sahab to share his views in 10 minutes. He is expected to talk about a very, very interesting caption of his talk: no student left behind in remote areas like Waziristan with less or no internet connectivity in pandemic COVID-19. So if I may request Professor Dr. Iftihar Ahmed to please give his comments, views, and expert ideas while talking about this topic. So you have 10 minutes, please.
Ziaul, can you please, if you could just change sequence a little bit. Bhatti Sahab is here, and Iftihar is trying with his internet issues. So kindly, Bhatti Sahab is physically present if you invite him to come.
No, even the topic says it all. He was to talk about internet connectivity and during pandemic, and he by himself. Vice Chancellor Sheikh Riyadh University, Chicago, and he'll talk about way forward for higher education in pandemics. Sir, over to you, please.
Honorable Dr. Mukhtar Sahab, Dr. Guy, Professor, and all respectable other colleagues and students and participants, remote participants. In fact, computer is researching my presentation, higher education and COVID. First of all, I give my comments, what I feel COVID. I feel it's a blessing for this universe. Cleaning the garbage. We have to think differently. Precisely, my talk covers background, impact of COVID, in changing landscape of higher education, panic buying. COVID creates panic overnight. What thing happens? The city caught fire. So everywhere is fire, fire, fire. What do you do when there is a fire in your street, in your city, in your mala? So this would make the entire globe is in panic. So in education, the term is being used as panic buying, the way we launch, the way we start to work on. Then technologies, challenges, and way forward. Very quickly, you can have a view of this slide, revolution, not too far distant, but 17, 18, 19, 20, 21st century, where we are completely plunged in a cyber generation. And changing classroom environment. Just look at that. The classroom is without anybody, without human beings. Just overnight, in a short span of time, the spiritual power of the infrastructure of any institution turned into in a different way, that you are not in a university, you are not going to university, you are not going to school. So schools are lying, universities are lying without human being. And then look at this picture. Look at this picture. If in classroom, normally 40 students, now there are 40 classes are created in different places. So your university is not a single place, a single building. This 40 students means 40 classrooms are created in different places, different areas. So this is the changing classroom environment due to COVID. This is just the 2010, what was before the e-learning, and in 2030, it's a proceeded, could be, in 75%, the way it increases in a year and a 2 years time, you can see that how much we change from traditional education system to this distance learning education system. Being an administrator in a university, academician, these three things are very important. Enrollment, teaching, and staff operation. Because at the end, I give you the way forward. That's why I linked these things. I did this SWOT analysis. I analysis the problem and issue of COVID in terms of our higher education sector. So in enrollment, you know that enrollment, if there is a distance education, number of universities abroad, there's no admission, there's a lot of problems. And in teaching, there is a ban on teaching, traveling from one place to another place, from university, from to one country to another country. So number of formalities or number of limitations are there to go abroad and to study. And then staff operation, you know that you have experience of teachers. I'm a teacher. The students are more comfortable as compared to teacher in online education system, because you are the native of digital town. We are a little bit ahead before you. So new skills, if you find the industrial revolution and fourth industrial revolution, which is the fourth one, look at the second column, and it says that development here, master of basic skills and knowledge. Nowadays what we are developing a whole person, just we were talking earlier, just brain, now entire your body is involved. Your eyes are involved, your fingers are involved, you are sitting over there, looking at there. So the whole person is transformed to emotionally, intellectually, and socially in the education system. Then the role of expert, now you need facilitators. Earlier, customer model, active self, and then direct explanatory. Lifelong learning. Anyone can teach. Teacher knows that pace. Earlier it was like this. Now everyone can teach. The way we have been getting acquaintance with the system, with the software, with the technology, everybody feels I can do it, I can teach. And access, physical classroom, anytime, anywhere, device can use and you can use it. Here pedagogy, as I mentioned, it is because of this COVID, we all were in panic. And this pandemic goes beyond the boundaries. And there is an education pedagogy, which is named as, our term is a pedagogy of appraised. In fact, this COVID overnight changed the education system, and it's a pedagogy of appraised. In fact, normally it is used, this method of education, where there is no facilities, the parents are not affording, students have no school, it's like a gown in a village, you don't have a teacher. So this is an oppressed society, or an oppressed segment of the society. That's called a pedagogy of oppressed pedagogy. In fact, you would agree with me that COVID made this pedagogy as oppressed, because we became oppressed. Whosoever, whether it is whatever the best university in the world or the smallest university in Chicago where I am working, they equally, like, they are in the same situation. So no one is has, no one is have not. So they all are oppressed to this pandemic created by COVID, and we become entire society became oppressed. So we started teaching, learning right from A to Z, similar way, like ways is the advance. So it is an oppressed society. Now, because of this COVID, we are at the level of oppressed, whichever the city, whichever the university are attending, but it is an oppressed society. So increased access to the course of the oppressed. So this is the COVID, we did it. And then, in oppressed system, what I feel that there is still human being is very creature which believes in ownership. Not normally complement to each other, to help each other, but we say we are macho men, it is mine. So having in COVID situation, still human being behaves like macho men, whatever the resources what the university has, they are trying to, there is no complementary or they can make a consortium to help each other in the same city. So this is what I feel in Pakistan, that we are not helping, but everybody is trying to be, that I surpassed Agriculture University, I have surpassed Qaid-e-Azam University, हर यूनिवर्सिटी जो है एक हर किसी को बताता है कि मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी आपसे बेहतर है. So my university is the lowest in the Pakistan, and thanks to my powerful university, they did hand holding, and my university did not have a lecture, online lecture for 6 months, because we did not have anything to offer. And I don't want to be, so-called legendary university. So I requested my open university, and they did hand holding. Now my university on the trajectory where we are starting teaching. disruption, then to recovery, and this rise of software. Hit and trial, everybody did it during this COVID. Whatever we said, WhatsApp, Zoom, what you can see that you can use it, and everybody in the world, they were equal. Challenges because of digital divide. Lack and access of digital devices resulting in inequality. Adoption of technology is the biggest issue. Curriculum needs to be redesigned according to the distance learning education system. And fear, always new things create fears. So fear to adopt of technology among teachers. Because I'm a teacher, this I should admit that this is the thing. What are the essentials technologies? You can see that how many things are there. There is a augmented reality, there is a virtual reality, there is a robotics, there is a blockchain. So these are the artificial intelligence which is helping to overcome or smooth our way for our education system or anything in the world. They are the artificial intelligence play a very important role in our daily life. Way forward. In fact, we all are familiar with very soft and robust term or phrase. We say that world is a global village. This world was coined, this phrase was coined in 60s by economists in Canada. The world became, and I listened first time 30 years ago, that world global village. I like this term. And trust me, when COVID came, COVID proved this world is a global village. Without any borderless, pandemic is roaming around as monkey or donkeys are roaming in a city. So pandemic. So this is a world become this human action proved the term, this pandemic is proved the COVID that this world is global village. Nobody is born in the village, so we all are at the same level. So the redefine the digital education, this is the consideration. Providing engaging online course at scale and implementing holistic digital solution, admission, lecture, examination, graduation, and key opportunity, redefine the digital learning pedagogies for both students and their lectures considering synchronized and asynchronous learning methods. Then deepen digital engagement, user experience, user experience across the students and faculty value chain. Reorganize for longer term growth. Challenge is responding to long-term structural impact for pandemic, prolonged social distancing measures, and the opportunities redefine aspects of strategy and consider longer-term transformation and associated new capabilities and partnership. I've been thinking that, okay, the way we are overcoming this situation of COVID, vaccine, or how long it goes, 5 years, 10 years, we wish that it will overcome. Then what? Because we have introduced this technology, we have introduced this technologies over there, but when it comes normal, do you think that we could continue this academic technologies like distance learning education system, even after we minimize this threat or not? Are we going to adopt it as a part of online education and physical education? So this is what I have been thinking, that what will be the role and what will be the exhibition and use of such technologies when we overcome such pandemic in the world. Thank you very much. Dr. Zia Saab, thank you very much. Zia Saab, thank you very much.